Something bad happened to me as a child. The funny thing is I don't remember it. How's that possible? Such a strong, sharp, suffocating thing. Well, I didn't forget about it like something inconsequential. It overflowed my childish comprehension. It was mountainous. It spilled out of the frame and became invisible. I know of it now, not because I remembered. I have sodium amytal to thank, and my compulsion to search the corridors beyond memory under its influence. The drug is relaxing. You feel the muscles slacken, your jaw drops open, and your mind too, and it begins to work on you like cannabis and alcohol together. Dissociated from my conscious inhibitions, I found a crime and carried it back to the surface, not a memory, but a lost version of myself. When I spoke of it, everyone denied this self. It was a story, they said, of characters who were never real. The facts I presented them with didn't add up, apparently, as if my newfound memory cared much about that. There were alibis and explanations, but they were like logical arguments against the existence of my own hands. I persisted with the treatment. I retrieved more, much more. I wanted to see how far back I could go. Before the assault came my 6th birthday, uneventful and forgotten, but the drug brought it back in vivid colour. It was fine, a little disappointing, perfectly ordinary anticlimax that I lived again. In time I recovered days before I could read, before I could speak, sun-drenched infancies before I knew what things were, when my world comprised only colours, sounds and sensations. I think I was in the amniotic sac, dark and hot, breathing the waters the witches speak of. But I cannot call this a memory, since it belonged to a thing with a brain no larger than a rabbit's. In the next session, I had great hopes of recalling my own birth. The procedure had other ideas. I found impossible selves in places and times that I could never have visited. My consciousness seemed to speak Italian, and before that Muscogee, then Igbo, Low German, Sanskrit, Old Norse, Sumerian. Each time I sat with the sodium crystals under my tongue, I found myself flung farther back in time. Eventually, there were no longer any words, but I heard music for many more lifetimes. I stopped the experiment at the oldest memory, the deepest I ever went in time. The salt showed me a version of myself that was inconceivably ancient, yet familiar. I watched from inside my head as this primordial being performed the exact same motions that I, fully awake, had carried out the previous day. At first I dismissed it as a distraction, but it became clear to me that I was not simply rehearsing recent events, though I found no discrepancy with them. I was recalling myself in an earlier life. Well, I don't mean one of my earlier lives, I'd seen plenty of those by now. I mean, I recalled the current version of myself in an earlier life of the cosmos, an earlier creation. What disturbed me most at first was that this past self, from the cycle of time before the current one, had lived the same life that I am living now. What I will do tomorrow, that self had already done, and if I could recall a later scene from its life, I would be looking into the inevitable future of my own. Yesterday, I believed I acted of my own volition. That illusion is now shattered. Nothing I choose matters, for everything I will do, I have already done. I am Oedipus, stumbling into the same avoidable tragedy 6 nights a week at the Palladium. But it turned out that this was not the worst of it. Today is not simply the anniversary of that day, billions of years ago, when I did and experienced everything just as I do now. If the repetition is exact, then that ancient self also recalled a past self yet older from the cosmos before his. It follows that I have already lived this life infinite times, without beginning, and I can only presume, without end. What I do today will be done again and again, separated by eons, but no different in my vertiginous imagination from the marks on a ruler that extends beyond sight or reason. Several months later, I dreamt that I had died and was in a bright white heaven. A voice asked me how I had fared in life. In despair, I spoke of the abyss of eternity I'd glimpsed, the knowledge that the life I'd just completed would be undone by countless epochs of entropy until the universe was reborn, and I would have to repeat it all over. The voice, with a note of surprise, asked me whether I had lived an evil life, or a cowardly one. I didn't think so, I replied. On waking, I lay still for a while. Then I got out of bed, pulled the cord on the blind, and blinked, as I always have, and always will.